You're tuned in to Grown Folks Production. In the mix with the commish, Nate.
All right, good morning and welcome to Press Pass Live, OMFL Media Days number 7. We got a great show for you today. I got some super fun dudes that I cannot wait for you to meet. These have been awesome. I have said it time and time and time again, but there's something that like humanizes exactly what we do here in the OMFL. We all get bent out of shape. We all have good days and bad days. We all get angry about FPR or cheating or whatever, you cheese or whatever you want to call it. But when you get to see some of these humans and like get to know them as humans the way I try to do really hard, man, it just like humanizes everything. You get a little bit more patience, a little bit more grace. You enjoy it a little bit more. I love this. This is my favorite thing that we do. That used to be the drafts, but now it is this. Let's get over here. Let's talk to our very first friend. This is going to be one of my favorite humans here in the OMFL. This guy joined us several years ago and has been a key core member of our community, and also someone that I feel like has begun a really great friend of mine and one of the greatest humans on the planet. So your coach of now, the Cincinnati Bengals. I keep flip-flopping it in my head, but we got it right yesterday. We're going to get it right again today. Mr. Denbrew. Mr. Denbrew is out on the lake fishing this morning. How you doing, buddy? Uh-oh. Denbrew? I'm not muted, am I? Oh, he froze. You can hear me. Yeah, okay. You had me confused for a second there. I was like, I think he froze. Denbrew, I think you froze, buddy. I don't know if you can hear us. I see it like trying. Look, Denbrew is out fishing with his family, having a great time this morning, bass fishing. He did make me laugh a little bit. He's like, it's hot. I'm like, yeah, it's 90 degrees. It's in the summer. You're bass fishing. That's what happens. He's gone. Hopefully he will be right back with us. He did tell me my phone's on 10%. And when he said that, I was like, oh no. Oh no. He's like, no, it'll be fine. I was like, I don't think it'll be fine, but we'll hurry up. Well, let me bring in my next guy then. Hopefully Denbrew is able to come back. You all know him as the scheduling czar of the OMFL. Even if he doesn't have the official title, he will still tell you when you are not on time. This is my dude. I love him. You love him. The coach of the Buffalo Bills. It's weird to not be able to say the New York Giants the little bit that was happening. But Mr. Bill, how you doing this morning, buddy? Doing good, man. Thank you for making time for me. Bill has a little one. My little one is not my little one, and so I get to send her home, and I don't have to deal with it. So I feel for Bill sometimes. I know that that's really, really hard. Bill, let's talk about Madden 24. Let's talk about your Buffalo Bills. They're going to be really, really, really good. What do you mean you can't hear Bill? Hold on a second. Before we get rolling, they said they can't hear Bill, and that should be almost impossible. All right. We'll make sure everything looks good. So hopefully they'll be able to hear you this time. Madden 24. The beta came out. Seemed like you got to play just a little bit. What are you most excited about Madden 24?
Yeah, I did get to play a little bit, and thanks to Roger for giving me his beta code. Yeah, I mean, gameplay-wise, it's pretty similar to 23. There were some more animations in it, which was great, like gang tackling and stuff like that. But I mean, to be honest with you, I just want there to be stability in the game. Everything that you guys went through, the league went through, but especially the board last year around recreating the CFM. What was it, twice? I think it's just ridiculous. So fingers crossed that the stability is there around the CFMs, and then the fact that they're giving you, the commissioners, more control around the CFM to do more things and control more things. Hopefully that will make for a greater experience for everybody, going forward.
Mr. Denbrew, we moved on, but we're going to come right back to you. I'm going to mute you, though, if that's okay. And if you can kill your camera. I don't know if you can, but if you can, turn your camera off just to save me some bandwidth. Denbrew's back. He didn't drown. The fish didn't eat him. What are the things that you hope to see from the Bills? They came out loaded, man. You're gonna have all the tools at your toolkit. You're a great GM anyway, and you're gonna be great anyway, no matter what team. But you got some really great players. What are those things that you're hoping to see from season 106?
Yeah, I mean, again, in 23 they were pretty loaded, and again this year they are. Really, it's just managing all the contracts. I mean, that's always my number one thing. Going into every cycle is how I can manage the contracts for some of the the bigger name players, the star players, the foundation guys. But right off the bat, I mean, this team's built around it, even though they have Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I feel like this team is built around defense, which is fine by me. I love defense. So defensive line is pretty stout, and also I'm bringing over a D tackle that I drafted in the last draft. And the back end, the secondary is pretty solid as well, even though the safeties are a little bit on the older side and not necessarily the fastest guys. They are, their play recognition and awareness are top of the list. So just kind of filling in on in the linebackers. I mean, I have Milano's still there. Edmondson's gone, but Milano's probably going to take over in the middle. I drafted another rookie in last draft that I'm bringing over as my second import. That's probably going to be on the strong side. So I got to fill in on the weak side at linebacker. And then on offense, just keep building up the offensive line. The offensive line's not that great, but you got Josh Allen, you got Diggs, the two tight ends. Now they drafted a rookie in the first round, that tight end Kincaid, to go along with the other guy who his name is escaping me right now. But I just I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, as everyone knows, the AFC East division here in the OMFL is ridiculously tough. So I just got to kind of do what I can to keep the team intact, improve where I can, and be competitive year in, year out.
Yeah, it's the intact thing that's going to come. You're going to have to be a wizard with that thing. That's going to take a little maneuvering, but I know you'll get it figured out. Step back a little bit and show us the shirt. Let's see the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Look
at
that. My guy's rocking it. He's got a new one that'll be in the mail here really, really soon. What are your real expectations in the AFC? There hasn't been a ton of movement, but a little bit of movement over there in the AFC. What are your real expectations for the Bills?
I'll be honest. I mean, last year I surprised myself at kind of how much, quote unquote, success I had. I mean, winning, I think I was able to win 3 out of 4 AFC East titles and got to the AFC Championship game twice, which I've never done that in a cycle before. So, obviously my goal is to make the playoffs every year and to win the division every year. But I mean, again, you got Kobe, you got Massimo, you got Lost in this division. I mean, it's a crapshoot every year. So just if I could just be competitive, week in and week out, and have a chance to fight for the division, within the last few weeks of the season, to be there, and obviously, make the playoffs. So once you make the playoffs, then anything can happen. I mean, again, making 2 AFC championships last year was a huge surprise to me. I never thought that would be able to do that. Especially, even with the team I had, I mean, I didn't think I was that good of a user. So, and then, but Massimo is a great example of going in as the 7th seed and making it all the way to the Super Bowl. So once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen.
And then I think he was a top seed and got blown out. So you just never know.
Yeah.
You just
It's
never
funny.
know.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, I mean, again, just having a chance to make the playoffs, and then within the last few weeks of the season, and then if I get there, then anything can happen. So
all this humbleness on OMFL media days. What's the one guy, the one player that you're like, man, I'm super pumped to play with this dude?
It's a toss up between the 2 rookies that I'm bringing over, the 2 imports. Glenn Callaway, who's a D tackle, 6'8", 350 and change.
Nice.
That I drafted 3rd overall with the Vikings pick in the last draft. Thanks, Maniac. So I'm bringing him over to pair with the rest of the guys on the defensive line: Von Miller, Ed Oliver, Rousseau. So I don't know what D tackle is going to be like. I guess you could say it was a little overpowered last Madden, so I'm sure it's going to be toned down a bit. But the guy's got good strength. I think he's at 93, and he's got crazy speed for a D tackle. So even if he's just doing his own thing, maybe he could shoot the gap every once in a while and blow up a play in the backfield. So I'm looking forward to see what he could do, especially at a size 6'8", 350. And then the outside linebacker, he's actually a middle linebacker. He got drafted as Heath Miller. He's got like all the physical tools. He's 6'3", 245, good strength, good speed. Just got to start, he's a rookie, so you got to build up that play recognition and that awareness. But I'm kind of debating whether to put him and start him at the middle, with Tremaine Edmonds gone. I was thinking, I'll put Milano at the middle because he's more of he's a veteran. He's got the play recognition and the awareness and good block shed and good pursuit. Or do I put Milano on the left side to cover the tight ends? Because, everybody loves to use tight ends in this league. So, and then put Heath Miller in the middle. So still debating. Good to see what happens once we get the game and once we're in the CFM. So those two guys are really the guys that I'm looking for. I mean, there's studs all over this team. But those two guys, I'm most eager to see what they could do.
And both of those dudes have size. Like especially that middle linebacker. It's hard to find a 245 middle linebacker. They just don't come easy.
No, and he's got good strength coming out of the box too. I think he's like at 85 strength or so. So, which is
give me that.
Yeah, exactly. That's great for a linebacker.
What's the number one priority move? As soon as you log in, depth chart, release, sign that you're hoping to get, a trade. What's your number one priority move with the Bills?
Probably figuring out who the weak side backer is going to be. I know I don't need to. He doesn't have to be like a high overall or anything. Just have certain attributes, pass coverage and some speed. I have a few of those guys already on the roster, but. If we do end up doing the free agent draft at the beginning, maybe that's a position I look at, with the pick is a weak side linebacker. And then probably offensive line. I mean, the Bills have a couple of solid guys, but they also have some big holes. And so depending on how offensive line is kind of viewed in this Madden, if attributes really matter, if they don't. Offensive line, building up the depth there, which I'll probably be doing in the draft, in all the drafts too. It's just, selecting an offensive line here and there just to see if I can, land a gem, diamond in the rough and see if I can get a guy. So those are probably the two positions that I'll be looking at first and foremost.
Trey, what do you got for our guy Bill? Before Trey asks his questions, we did get an update from Denbrew, and Nate was right. I'm not right often, but I was right. He got 1%. He says he's trying to make it to his truck to charge his phone, though, before we get out of here. So hopefully Denbrew can come back. Trey, take it away, bud.
What's up, Bill?
Hey, man.
So you're describing all these imports that you're bringing in, and it sounds like you have the perfect ability to run a 3-4 defense, but are you planning on running a 4-3 instead?
I'm a 4-3 guy. I think the Bills are set up for a 4-3 for the most part. You got Von Miller and Rousseau at the ends. They're kind of your prototypical. Well, I shouldn't say Von Miller is a prototypical 4-3, but they're good 4-3 D ends, and then Ed Oliver at D tackle, and now Callaway at the other D tackle. So those guys are going to be up front, and that's really like the strength, the heart, and the soul, I think, of going to be the Bills' defense is the defensive line.
For sure.
And then, and then the back end, like I said, I mean, I got 3 good cornerbacks, I got 2 good safeties, and they signed this kid, what's his name, Taylor Rapp. I don't know if it's Taylor Rapp, but the kid from the Rams out of University of Washington. He's like their third safety. His speed isn't great. It's like 84, 85, but he's a pretty solid safety overall. So I have like that nickel safety already too. So pretty excited about the defense running the 4-3.
Could we see the big nickel over G defense be used quite frequently?
I started using it towards the end, like the last couple of seasons, last Madden, using it a little bit more. I was never a big G nickel guy. And I don't use it. I notice a lot of guys use it as their base defense. I'm not good enough with any user to do that, but I am going to sprinkle it in a lot more, I think, this Madden, or at least try to, because I think it could be effective in the right situations.
Offensively, you have Gabe Davis and you have Stephon Diggs. Do you feel that you need a third receiver, or do you feel like the tight end can fill that third receiver slot?
Yeah, that was a big struggle for me in terms of imports, because I had Tom Bradley, who was a 96, 95 guy at wide receiver that I could have brought over as well. And I did a lot of going back and forth, but I think, Davis is kind of underrated. I mean, after using him for a whole Madden, his speed and acceleration aren't great, but he really is a solid route runner, and he does get open. So he's a good number 2 for me. The 2 tight ends, I'm going to try to use 2 tight end sets a little bit more. I mean, not in a cheesy kind of way, but Kincaid has some great, who's the rookie tight end that they drafted out of Utah, I believe. He's got some really solid, he's big. He's got some solid attributes. So I'm going to rely, on really the 2 tight ends and the 2 wide receivers. And I mean, you guys know me too. Like I like to run the ball a lot as well. So I think, running out of the 2 tight end set is going to help me, running the ball too. Having Damian Harris, I think that guy's name, coming over from the Patriots, he's like the perfect kind of running back for me. He's kind of similar to what D Money mentioned the other day. Like he doesn't have crazy speed, but he's like strong. He's got good ball. He's a good ball carrier. He's got good trucking, good stiff arm. So that's more of my guy in between the tackles. So I'm going with Gabe Davis and Diggs for now, and we'll see when the first draft comes around.
All right, and on my own personal note, what's it going to take for me to get Latavius Murray?
Probably not much, to be honest with you. So we could definitely have those conversations. He's not in my long-term plan. So if we can swap some depth, that would be fine by me.
I'm in. We'll talk.
All right.
Well, there you have it. Mr. Maniac's got one more for you he likes to ask everybody. And I think this is an interesting question for you, because I've seen you do a little bit of everything. But do you plan on building the Bills young through the draft, maybe moving some guys for some draft picks? Or do you plan on grabbing other people's veterans, building through free agency? How do you plan on building the Bills?
I think I'm the one. I kind of tend to lean towards going for the vets more than it's more because I think I'm impatient, right? Like I can't wait around for the draft to come around. So I'm like, I got to pick. Let me see if I can get a vet to fill a spot. I have no problem doing that, just because I feel like I usually have a pretty good handle on the cap, so that I know, can I fit this guy in now, and can I fit him in long term? So I think I'm just going to take it kind of I'm going to see how things unfold in the first season, and, see how competitive I actually am. And if I feel like I am, I do have a solid team and I am competitive right off the bat, I may flip some of those early picks for some vets to fill holes where I feel like I need to improve to kind of take that next step. So, but we'll see. I'll read each season and each draft as it is, and go from there.
You and D. Wayne like to throw those picks away and grab some veteran players. Well, Bill, thank you. I heard Little Man, he got upset about something in there, but thank you for making time, man. I appreciate you so much. You are one of our core, man, and I hope you're here until we all kind of can't hold a controller anymore, man. I appreciate you, and thanks for everything that you do here. Thanks for helping out with the Deuce this year. I don't know how long that'll be able to last for you with the baby and work and life, but I appreciate you trying to help us, and you're the best, man. I appreciate you. A lot of love, and good luck to the Bills in Madden 24. And this humble stuff, this is not what I expected, right? Because Bill is pretty brash in the chat. He has no problem poking his chest out, and yet he comes on here and he's like, I don't know. Yeah, he was only in the playoffs every single season, making runs every single season. So I don't know what that's about, but that's got to go away, okay? We got to have the brash, cocky Bill around.
I'm not in mid-season form yet. Just give me a little bit, and then I'll get there.
He's
But
still
yeah,
in that summer slumber, which I should also just mention. Thank you for running the summer league, man. That kept a handful of guys super engaged, and I know that was a lot of work and frustrating at times, but you did it. You guys had a great season. It was a lot of fun, and congratulations and thanks for doing everything here, man. I appreciate you.
No, I just want to, thank you and thank Trey and everybody else on the board that keeps this thing going. I mean, you guys, without you guys, we'd be doing something else. But we choose to be here. We love being here, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to run the summer league. I thought it was, pretty successful for the most part. We had, good 8 to 10 guys that played pretty much every week, and then we had some guys that were in and out, but that's expected because it's the summer. So. Thank you again for letting me run that, and it was fun. And maybe, hopefully we could do it again next summer. So, but thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Bill. Can't wait to talk again, buddy. Take care, bud.
All right, man. Thanks,
there
guys.
you have it. The coach of your Buffalo Bills, Mr. Bill. It still doesn't quite roll off the tongue, Trey. There's something about it that gets sticky of like, why doesn't this quite come off the way I want? Our guy made it back. Look at that. He did not drown. The fish did not eat him. I was just about to bring Trey on so we could just see if we could squeeze out some more time before we got out of here. But we literally just wrapped up. Let me go ahead and get you put in here. Thank you, Mr. Denbrew, for making time, man. You could have easily been like, you know what, Nate? I'm busy. I'm fishing. I'll do this another day, but I appreciate you, buddy. Right here on the screen, you see him, your coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. We tried to do it a while ago, and I told y'all, I was like, he said his phone was on 10 and it was fine. I told him it wasn't fine, and it ended up not being fine. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. I had to hustle back to the dock and was able to run up to this boat or run up to the truck and get plugged in here.
Well, let's hurry up and get it done so you can get right back to fishing with the wife. Thank you again. I love you and I appreciate you, and I will sing your praises after we're done so we can get you off to bass fishing. Madden 24, did you get to play the beta at all? Did you get to mess with it? What are you most excited about when it comes to Madden 24?
Yeah, I played the beta a little bit. I think more than anything, I mean, the game felt similar with some tweaks, but I think more than anything that gets me excited is just to get back playing. I don't play in any other leagues. I play some MLB baseball when I'm not playing Madden with you guys. I don't play offline. So I'm excited to get back playing. Our division looks fun. So, yeah, excited to get back at it.
All right, Trey, you heard it. There's another owner that plays MLB. We got to get something going over there on the MLB side. I'm poking Trey to get me something going or bring a NHL league over or something. Yeah. What is the expectations, or I'm sorry, not the expectations, but what are the things that you're hoping to see from the Bengals in the first season? They were not nice to our guy Burrow at all, but what are you hoping are the things that you need to see from that team?
Yeah, I think the last Madden, he didn't have much of an arm either, but his accuracy is so high. Hopefully that'll help out there. But yeah, I'm curious to see how well, that low arm strength translates if I can deal with it. I want to deal with it. The first thing I'm probably going to do is re-sign him if I can. So I want to keep Burrow around, but hopefully the throw power doesn't affect me too bad.
This is a bonus question, but are we excited to be back in Cincinnati? Did we like the breakaway?
Yeah, I'm pumped to be back. I love playing with the Bengals. But they're little cocks. They're his team, but he was cool enough to make me a deal, and he offered it. I didn't ask. He offered it up and said, "Hey, we'll just trade every other Madden." So shout out to LC for being so cool, and I'm stoked. I can't wait to be back. It's fun playing with the Browns. They're super talented, but there's nothing like playing with your team.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. What are your real expectations? What do you think are going to happen to your team in the first season?
I think we're a playoff team. I mean, I think I can. I think anybody in that division can win it. LC's tough. Obviously, Nipples is tough, and then our most recent champ. I mean, I guess he's coming to the division. It's been hinted around, so anybody can win it, and I'm excited. So I won't say I'll win the division, but I think I'm a playoff team.
Nothing worse than a tough nipple. Denbrew with this humbleness.
Yeah.
My dude won 3 bowls in a row or something crazy, 2 bowls in a row and 4 championship games. What's with this humbleness this morning? I don't know. You missed Bill, but he also was being super humble. Who's the one player, Denbrew, that you're like, man, I love my Bengals, but this is the one guy I cannot wait to play with?
Yeah, there's actually 2, and they're both from Michigan. Last year, the Bengals drafted Dax Hill, a safety, in the first round. And then this year they drafted in the second round a corner, DJ Turner. And Turner, his coverage skills not great, but he's fast and somebody that's a rookie and I can hopefully develop. And I'm pretty excited to see what he can do and throw him right into the nickel.
Last one for me. What's the number one priority for you? As soon as you log into the CFM, is it a cut? Is it a signing that you're hoping to get? Is it a depth chart situation, a trade? What's the number one priority for your Bengals?
If we do that free agent draft, hopefully I can, land somebody there. That's always a nice little bonus. If you can land an early free agent, that'll help your team. That's somebody that's sitting out there. So hopefully something like that. If not, secondary would be to get Burrow signed.
Mr. Trey, what do you have for Denbrew?
What up, Dan?
What's going on, Trey?
Not too much. Hopefully this gets your fish today.
It was rough. It was a rough day, and we're getting out of here because it is hot on the water right now.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Well, as I asked Koch the other day, you're going from the power run style that is the Cleveland Browns to the air raid style that is the Bengals. How do you feel that will change your game plan going into the season?
Well, I tried to air raid with the Browns, so maybe this will be a better fit for me. I couldn't run with Chubb, which blew me away. I was beating my head against the wall. I could never run with him, and then I ended up drafting a couple of rookie running backs after I traded him away to Bill, and I did much better with these rookies. And one of them I'm going to bring over as an import, but I'd like to be more balanced than anything and not really rely on one or the other. So we'll see.
Now, with the receiving core, you've got Jamar Chase, you got T. Higgins. Do you feel like maybe adding a solid number 1 tight end or maybe a third wide receiver to be talented to help open up that run game for you?
Yeah, I mean, they signed Irv Smith, and he's got decent attributes at tight end. So he's on a 1-year deal. Higgins is on the last year of his deal. Boyd is on the last year of his deal. So wide receiver in the draft or free agency or trade is probably something I'm definitely going to look at too. I don't know that I can re-sign Higgins and Boyd and Chase the following year. So I like to have at least 2 guys on the outside and then maybe throw a third in. But I think Irv Smith will do the job at tight end.
Now, you have one of the best young kickers in the league. How many 55-plus yard field goals are we going to see attempted?
We're going to see, I would say, upwards of 10. I don't ever want to kick a field goal, but if there's one from deep, and the way the winds are in the AFC North, sometimes you get blessed with a nice wind, and you can kick one from 60-plus. So, the AFC North, every time you go play somebody, the wind is either blowing east to west, north to south, and it's blowing 10-plus miles an hour. So it's always every playoff game seems to be a snow game. So, with McPherson, I'm going to try and kick as many as I can.
Now, we saw the emergence of some younger, we'll call it, talent in the AFC. Who do you think provides the biggest challenge for you to make it back to an OMFL Bowl?
You're calling them younger?
We'll call it that.
I don't know how old Cincy is, but I mean, he seems like a mature fella. LC's no spring chicken. I know that. Although he's younger than I am. And the tough nipple, I mean, he acts like he's 21. I'm not sure how old he is, but
21 is being nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Those guys are all good. I mean, and they're all going to have good teams. I think Cincy's going into a great spot in Pittsburgh. I mean, their record may not show, but that's a pretty good team. They've got some good pieces. Najee Harris and Watt and some other guys on defense. What's his name? The The safety's ridiculous there. I don't know what the quarterback ratings ended up being for Pickett, but I mean, he's going into I think a great situation. If I was Maniac, I would have stayed because it's probably salary cap friendly. It's young and a good mix of some solid, really good veterans, not just a bunch of veteran duds. So it could be anybody, but I'm going to give the props to the guy that just won it. And I'll say, if Cincy doesn't win the division right out of the gates, that'll be surprising to me.
All right. Well, I look forward to some matchups in the good old Cincinnati versus Detroit style.
That sounds great, man. You know, we usually just do it in preseason, it feels like. But, yeah, that would be awesome to meet up in the regular season.
Sounds good.
All this humbledness, I don't know what to do with it. One more from Mr. Maniac, and then we'll get you out of here. Maniac likes to know, he asks all of our guests, do you plan on building the Bengals through the draft, maybe moving some players for some younger draft picks or some younger players, or are you going to grab veterans, free agency, or maybe other guys that people are dumping? How do you plan on building the Bengals?
I'd like to pull off an early trade right out of the gates in season one, a nice trade for some picks. The Bengals, they're probably going to be picking, or they picked in the late 20s, and that's where I like to pick because that means you've made it to the playoffs. So I'd like to pull off an early trade and get some draft picks stored up. So maybe T. Higgins on the block, somebody like that. Maybe Trey Hendrickson, the defensive end, somebody that's kind of button up against a contract I would like to move.
There you have it. Denbrew, I love you. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everything that you bring here. You know, everybody's always kind to us, and I do try to work really hard for everyone, but there's no way that this place would be what it is without the LCs and the Bills and the Denbrews. You are such a core piece, and I hope you're here until we can't hold a controller in our old hands anymore. So I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for making time, fighting through the fish, sucking down your battery, and being here with me. Tell the wife thank you for letting you do this too as well. I appreciate you, man. I cannot wait to see what you do with the Bengals in season 106.
Yep. Good luck to everybody that's coming back, and to the new guys, good luck, and hope you stick around and embrace everything we've got to offer. It's a super cool place. So I appreciate you, Nate, Trey, all the stuff that you do, Sniper, all the stuff that he does, Bill, all the stuff that he does. I'm going to leave somebody out. There's so many people that contribute a lot of stuff that behind the scenes or even out front that's really cool about this spot, and I'm super happy to be a part of it.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you in the field here soon.
All right, guys.
There you have it. Your coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Come on back here, Trey, as we wrap up the show. I just love these. These are just my favorite thing, man.
Indeed. But I got a quick question. How much time do we got?
Why?
I've got a little bit of a pre-umption.
Turn your camera on first.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
There you go. Oh, look, he's not in the dark either.
Yeah, turn the light on.
He was very dark a while ago. Hold on a second. You're not showing up, and I don't know why. Did you leave a while ago? Hold on. Let me check.
Nope.
Maybe I just turned on the wrong I turned on the wrong camera. There we have you. Now we got you. A pre-guest? What are we talking about?
Well, a lot of today's talk mentioned the free agent draft. I happen to have a list of some of the top remaining free agents.
You know, since that got brought up, I think this could be fun. We could do this really quick because tomorrow's show is going to be all about storylines in the NFC. And maybe we can even, talk imports a little bit. I have not looked at imports. I need to decide mine. I may even do a stream tonight. I may not play games tonight. I may do a stream and let the stream help me pick my imports. I don't know. It'd be fun. But yeah, before we dive into this list, I was mulling over what do we do, because the free agent draft, some people love it, some people absolutely hate it. It does take forever. I don't know why the free agent draft takes so long, but it does. And some of me was like, do we not do a draft this year? Do we just say go for it like an off-season free agent? Like you got to put in a bid, so everyone must have a bid put in on them, and then we start handing them out. I don't know, man. I don't know what we're going to do, but let's talk your list. Tell us some of these top free agencies.
with some of the names on this list, I think that might be the way to go. The number one on this list that I have, running back at 27 years old, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
He's still not signed.
He might get signed, though, before we get rolling here. I don't know.
Yeah, well, who knows? But if we did the free agent draft, you assume he'd be the number one guy?
No. Only because he's a running back. And what you see in the NFL is what I think you see here in the OMFL. If guys have them, they hold on to them, but they're easily replaced, right? We've seen Denbrew go out there and easily replace running backs, save money, and get a guy. It feels like when it comes to running back, the ball carry vision, though it's nice, is not as impactful as an attribute as speed. And so either guys go get strong running backs, like we heard, I think Bill say, and it was D-Money said, they'll go get those strong running backs. That'll work. Or they'll go get speed running backs. So I only say that to say I think we would see some skill position in the OMFL. The way I view skill positions, I think you'd see a defensive end fly off the back. There's the one guy I think from the Giants still out there with speed. I think you'd see one of these linebackers. I think Deion Jones is still out there, and though the NFL doesn't seem to have a space for him, Madden, he's a stud, right? I think you would see one of those like harder to replace positions get popped up.
Well, funny enough, the number 3 rank that they have is a guy that was recently released because he decided he had a gambling thing. Isaiah Rodgers. He's 25 years old.
Yeah.
And he plays corner. That could be a tough fit for somebody.
Good speed, right?
I think he's usually about 80, 88, 89.
Okay.
So, I mean, not super fast, but enough to, play a slot position.
What do we have at number 2?
They had ranked Jadeveon Clowney.
Yep. See, that one, I could see that one getting snatched up pretty quick.
Then number 4, they have Ronald Darby.
Okay.
Number 5, they have Yannick Ngakoue.
I think that's the guy I was talking about. Giants, right? No?
Yeah, his last team was Indianapolis.
Oh, that's right. He went to Indy. Defensive end, he's one of the guys that I keep hearing the Saints talk about, those rumors that they would try to bring him in. But another guy, right? Like, it's harder to find defensive ends. I could see people snapping him up.
And here's where the running back plethora in free agency currently lies. 6, 7, and 8 is Ezekiel Elliott, Kareem Hunt, and Leonard Fournette.
That's some big names, man. Leonard Fournette isn't that old, like 27, 28. Yeah, okay.
All 3 of them are 28.
Man, Zeke feels so much older in my head. He would be back with Dallas if we don't do a free agent draft. Like I could see Dallas trying to bring, or one of our Dallas Cowboy fans, right? I could see them bringing him in.
I'd try and bring him in if I got the chance.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's such a plethora of running backs and big names. You might see some of these guys go a little bit higher than normal because there's so many of them and they're such big names,
Yep. Number 9, they have guard Dalton Reisner, who played for Denver last year.
Yeah, he's got to be ranked pretty well.
I'd assume maybe he'd probably be high 70s and low 80s.
Yeah.
And then to finish off the top 10, it's a former Saint, I believe, and quarterback Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, Teddy B. Still getting it done with his 83 throwing power, I'm sure. And another guy that can't be that old, 28.
30.
Oh, he's 30. Holy cow. I feel like he came into the league so young, he would still be pretty young. It's also, as a 43-year-old, it makes me laugh that we call 30-year-olds old. I get why we say it, but it's just like, yeah, this is a young man still.
And there's one guy outside the top 10 that caught my eye, and it's safety John Johnson III.
Yeah?
He's still a free agent. That's quite shocking.
He's got to be in his 30s, right?
27.
Wow. He's still young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could still get 3-4 seasons out of him.
Yep.
That's another thing that's probably a good conversation for tomorrow, depending on how far our storylines go. If it's not for tomorrow, maybe the following Monday. But The board is, I say the board, only Roger, myself, and Denbrew have had the conversation, but I'm slowly waking the other guys up. But we're talking about the new regression system and how we have control over what ages those regressions start to kick in. I hope it works that way. We may still see the random rookie, have some weird regression because somebody had a bad season. But at what ages should some of these positions start to go down? I think that would be a fun conversation for you.
And you'll be able to control how fast they drop.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I need to play with that a bit more and find out exactly how that works and where that works, because I didn't. That was the one thing in the beta that I didn't really get to mess with. Did you get to play with that at all?
I dabbled a little bit, and I killed Aaron Rodgers in one season. So
is it all under XP sliders?
I can't remember offhand because I had just gotten off a flight.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't mess with XP sliders, and I think that's where those ages and everything is. And so I don't really know much of anything about the whole, like, how fast things happen. So again, that's another little twist that makes our league unique, that we can really try to aim for that realism. So it should be good.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Trey, thank you. Thank you for all of our guests, Bill and Denbrew, fighting through, running back. I appreciate those guys. I love these shows, man. These shows are tons of fun. Again, it humanizes the OMFL. I think it really helps us realize, like, there are other humans on the other end over here playing this game that we all play. I'm trying to say, oh yeah, my music is there. There it is. And I just love being able to interview these guys. We got to get Lost Sniper back on. We got to get our guy, Casey, Shocks. Jeez, I lost his name for a second there. So we're going to reschedule Shocks, and we're going to reschedule Lost Sniper and have those guys back on. And Trey and I'll be back here tomorrow. We're talking NFC storylines and maybe a little regression. So should be a ton of fun. Trey, thank you for today. Thank you, Kev and Maniac. I see you in the chat. Guys, we'll see you on the next one. Happy Sunday. Love you. Peace.
Later.
Smash that like and subscribe.